Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently working on dealing with the remnants of Bolivia. And of course, we are attacking them as quick as we can. We're also warning against Paraguayan communism. Indeed we are. Fantastic. So we will proceed here and see what's going on here. I mean, this seems a little choppier than it did previously. I'm not necessarily a fan of that. I'll see if I can maybe get that fixed like so. Maybe a little bit better. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and attack over here, and I can definitely troubleshoot that in a little bit unless it gets too much worse, in which case I'll just restart the episode and you won't have seen any of this. But we'll see how that ends up playing out. Now, the real question is, how much are they going to be able to hold out here? And I think the answer to that is not a whole ton. At least I hope that's the answer. Let's take a look at our orders here. Yeah, they're going to fall here. That's completely fine. And we should start attacking their capital very shortly here. Now, we are currently working on Paraguay as well. And we're going to be justifying against them for a while, actually. 215 days. I'm interested in potentially justifying against Uruguay simultaneously. 15 more political power, and that'll only take 185 days. I like it. I like that quite a lot, in fact. So we're going to be attacking over here, and we're kind of losing these fights, but through sheer force of numbers, we should be able to pull this off. In theory. I hope. That would be nice. Yeah, I mean, we knew that they would hold us off for a while in the mountains, right? That was always going to be a thing. But, I mean, we're looping around over here with reinforcements, and once those roll up, we should, in theory, be okay. We are indeed questioning Paraguayan sovereignty. They shouldn't have it. It's clearly not a thing that they can that they can deal with, right? I mean, look at this. They have... We don't even know what buildings they have. They could have anything. That is the worst argument I've ever made. I love it. It was absolutely awful. We are up to 60 factories now. That's wonderful. Let's take a look at our construction here. We still want additional consumer goods factories. That would be nice. And we're working on our synthetic refineries. But all of this is in progress. Now, we're not on a, super aggressive attack mode here, and that's okay. These guys are going to move into our Coast Guard, of course. Assembly line production. Okay, so we're going to, next up, probably go for Construction 4. We still do want additional construction, and we're going to put these guys into our Coast Guard as well. Fantastic, and we'll just hop out of that view to refresh it. And hello, console. And let's just go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on over here. We're actually starting to win in this location. They're holed up in their capital for right now, but they can't do that for too much longer, in all honesty. How are we doing producing our infantry equipment? It's not the greatest, but I guess that's okay. We are working on tactical bombers and fighters and armored operations and construction. There's a lot of stuff that we're working on there. And of course, we're working our way through these trees. We should probably start working our way down this way eventually, but we're not in a faction. That's maybe a good reason to get in a faction, or create our own. Oh, hello. We've got an additional division here, and they will, of course, go off to the Coast Guard. Fantastic. It's just infantry that's going to go to the Coast Guard, and as we start getting armored divisions, these light tank brigades, which we're going to have to modify for sure. Oh, the Yugoslavians are joining the Allies. Okay, that's fine. But as we continue to modify these and get more and more armored divisions, this army here is going to convert over to armor divisions. There are the 2 cavalry divisions in here that I don't really care for, but I guess they'll be okay for now. And it looks like the Bolivian capital is about to fall. So that is magnificent. And let's... Yeah, actually, they definitely did fall. So that is Bolivia done. Tactical bombers finishing up. That's great. Let's go ahead and work on Tactical Bomber 2. We're going to need them. Now, we're not currently constructing any, and I would definitely like to be constructing a few tactical bombers. So we'll get to work on that, and we'll put 2 military factories to work on it once we have 2 military factories to work on it with. Okay, I was wondering why Bolivia wasn't capitulating there, but they have. So we got some infantry equipment and support equipment and such. That's fine. Bolivia has capitulated. This is a great victory for integralist Brazil. Indeed it is, and we're just going to take all states and end turn. Fantastic. We annexed it, and that is exactly what we want. So, we're going to need at least 1 more civilian factory. So, we'll just do that. Perfect. These guys, they are now going to begin putting up a front line around Paraguay, with the offensive line being simply that. That'll do. So they'll get into position for that, and Paraguay will, of course, fall fairly quickly here. We're going to want to start justifying on Uruguay fairly soon. How long on this one? Uruguay might actually be first. 185 days. That one is going to be 165 days. Okay, so this is only going to be 20 days before. A little awkward, to be sure, but we will go ahead and get these guys into our Coast Guard. Fantastic. And we're going to continue working on our construction as much as we can. Let's see what Europe is looking like. Okay, that's fairly good for our fellow fascists. And what's the US up to? Louisiana maneuvers. What are the Louisiana maneuvers? Land doctrine research. Okay, Yugoslavia has capitulated. That's not shocking. Okay. Sounds good to me. So we're going to get this civilian factory finished up. We do want to make this civilian factory be our next priority. There we go. That should be wonderful. 16 May 1941, so only 8 more days to finish up this factory. That's really, really good. So we're very happy about that. Of course, we're going to have these guys assigned down to South America here. And they will eventually move down here, but this will be fine. Now, these are currently interwar fighters, and they also apparently contain fighters, fighter ones. That's good to know. Yeah, that's of type fighter, majority type interwar fighter. Good to know, good to know. So we're going to have them begin doing air superiority, but not yet. We don't want to utilize the fuel just yet. Especially when we're going to be working on this synthetic refinery quite soon. There's our close air support effort. That's fine. And we can grab our rocket effort. That'll be fine, sure. Absolutely. Let's do it. And we're going to finish up this civilian factory tomorrow. In fact, right now. Research finished on our Fighter 2s. That's amazing. And we're going to immediately not start working on Fighter 3 because that's ahead of time. But what we are going to do is, I think, start working on, let's see here, air superiority. It gives us better ground support, fighter sweeps. I do think I want air superiority. So we're going to go down this tree. Fantastic. Now we do have outdated equipment in production, and that is our Fighter 1. We're going to immediately switch that to Fighter 2s. Perfect. And we are getting some tactical bombers made at this point, but not very many at all. Which is completely fine. How are we doing for setting up outside of Paraguay? We've got a ways to go here. Japan just declared war on the Philippines. The Philippines is, of course, a puppet of the United States. Which means that the United States is now officially fighting Japan. Fascinating. That is very good for us. That buys us time. Time that we will desperately need. Desperately, desperately need. So we are justifying against Uruguay. I would love to justify against Argentina as well. It's a different Mesopotamia. Don't worry about it. This one is going to be quite a lot in terms of time. But that's maybe okay. It's going to take us a little while to grind through Paraguay and Uruguay. Not too long. And I would really like it if our light tank brigade would finish up, but we're still working on it. I think we'll go ahead and double our factories devoted to light tanks. And that will definitely be a necessary thing. Now, of course, we currently do have low compliance here. And the resistance is coming up. That's okay. So as this continues to come up, they're going to make it more likely that they do sabotaging over there. But what we can do, of course, is work on our operatives. Now, we haven't really done much of that because we've been focusing really heavily on our construction. And that's fine. In fact, this is looking very good here. I'm quite pleased with that. So Paraguay is going to be... It's still going to be over 100 days. So I think I'm going to, for now, bump it up to speed 4. And with us at speed 4, we are just going to cruise through some of this stuff that we're waiting on. It'll be fine. We may actually want to move these guys over to here, to this airbase, and that's exactly what we'll do. From this airbase, they'll be capable of helping against both Paraguay and Uruguay, I believe. Not exactly. They're going to want to be in this airbase. Our range is limited, though. Our range is very, very limited. So we should be finishing up our synthetic fuel refinery here fairly soon. 18 July. So about a month, actually. And our rocket effort is going to be in a while after that. We're going to want to go down our naval effort tree. I want to get all of our research bonuses while we are still researching stuff, and then we'll go down nationalism, militarism, military use, etc. I mean, yeah, change in popularity of fascism, we're basically maxed, but it's okay. Division training time reduction isn't bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
The Japanese government also launched an attack against Malaya.
Okay, so we have decisions available, but we're not going to enact them, of course. Are we going to go ahead and justify on these guys? I think we will, but it'll take 15 more days to get that started. That's okay. We definitely want to expand down this way. This is owned by the UK, right? Right. And so should this. Yes. That's okay. No big deal there. So we're showing this as being roughly equal in force comparisons. I'm not necessarily okay with that. But we can always relegate these cavalry divisions to the Coast Guard once we're capable of getting our light tank brigade going. And I do want to maybe edit our light tank brigade here. Maybe swap out these infantry for additional light tanks. There we go. That does mean we're going to need a lot more light tanks, of course. And I would like to put in another light tank here. That's a combat width of 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so we'll save that for now. And this division is a light tank brigade. Okay, fantastic. So what we're going to do is we are going to move this unit of cavalry into our Coast Guard. And then these guys, they are going to move into our attacking army. Now, I suspect they're going to be pretty short on their fighting strength right now. Yeah, they're waiting for 460 light tanks. We're going to need some of those. The German Reich just declared on the Soviet Union. Uh-oh. Well, that's a mistake. Okay. The Germany, apparently, has broken the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. The non-aggression pact between Germany and the Soviet Union, a surprising development to begin with, has now less surprisingly fallen apart. Germany has attacked, breaking the pact, and returned to once again openly speaking of the Soviet Union as a menace. that must be faced with their visions of the future to become a reality. Soviet leadership is less than pleased, but perhaps less shocked by the betrayal than disappointed that they didn't seize the opportunity first. Indeed. Okay, so our cavalry and our tanks are, of course, switching positions here, and I do want to ramp up production of light tanks. In fact, I'm going to ramp that up to 4 total military factories. That'll be great. We're going to need to conquer more military factories, of course. No more civilian factories will need to be built. In fact, we could probably get away with converting one. But I think I'm going to hold off on that. I do want to get these additional military factories built quite soon, but we are definitely going to need to have our fuel refineries coming online. There's no doubt about that one. So this justification is slowly ticking forward. We must ready the people for war. And Argentina, when can we start you? Oh, we can start you now. Fantastic. So we'll do that. Now, Argentina is going to be our biggest threat yet. There's no doubt about that. We are stepping up our recruitment, and it's fine. Like, this'll be just fine. So that's excellent. I do want to cancel our land forts in locations that are no longer necessary, like this one. Okay. And this one's no longer necessary. Same with this and this. And these will not be necessary by the time we get to them. Okay. That one kind of is still on the border, but it probably won't be necessary later on. So I think I'm just going to get rid of all of these. Oh, hello, rocket effort. I think I'm just going to get rid of all of these that are in the south. And we'll only build the northernmost ones. I am going to queue up the ones that are along our border with Peru, but I'm not too keen on getting them done just ridiculously quickly. Let's go ahead and get started on our naval focus. There we go. We haven't done much with our navies yet, that's for sure. Oh, we finished up one of our fuel refineries. That's great. So that basically doubled our base gain. We're questioning the motives of Argentina. Japan is declaring war on the entire ocean. The United States joined the United Kingdom. Ah, as an ally. Okay. Yeah, we're not shocked by this. We're not shocked by this at all. So far, we've captured Bolivia, and we're working on Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina. That is our current goal, and then, of course, after that, Chile. Construction has just finished up, and I would love to grab Construction 5, but that's not currently an option. Excavation 5 is quite good. And ultimately, we probably want to go with Streamlined Line. Well, let's grab Excavation 4 for now. Make sure that we're getting that underway. Excellent. And as I said, we are not constrained by the realities of, like, when World War II ended. That's not a thing that we're constrained by. We are indeed angered by Argentinian posturing. They are very rude dudes. Very, very rude dudes. I have no idea why they're rude, but, I mean, well, actually, I do know why they're rude. They're not green. Green is best. They should be green. Everyone should be green. That's how this should work. Air superiority has just finished up, and we are going to grab, I think, we need both of these, don't we? That's an or, but they're not mutually exclusive. Let's go ahead and take interception detection, maybe? Yeah, let's do that. For now, anyway. Okay, so this is another infantry division that gets assigned over to the Coast Guard. Fantastic. And this is another one, actually. We have multiple here that are ready to go. So all of those get assigned over to the Coast Guard. Glorious. So the Coast Guard's mission, of course, is to guard the coast. They do need up to 72 divisions for that, and we're definitely cranking through the manpower right now. Now, we are currently on limited conscription, and I want to stay there for now. We do have access to Bomber, or Tactical Bomber 1, which should go up to Tactical Bomber 2. There we go. We'll get that started, and let's apparently throw a flash drive on the ground. And also, I kind of want to start working on some of this stuff. So let's go ahead and grab Support Weapons 3. There we go. And how are we doing on our logistics here? We're gaining on our number of tanks, but very slowly. Our infantry equipment we're currently losing on. And so that, of course, means that we still need additional production on infantry equipment. Now, we're not capped out yet on our production efficiency. So that's something that is good to note, for sure. And how are we doing on our fuel refineries? They are going to be finishing up fairly soon. Okay, sounds good. And we're still working on bringing in our tanks over here. They're moving very slowly. They are consuming fuel, but that's okay. Those who reject nations will see their own perish. Indeed. We're continuing to posture against these other nations down here. And that is, of course, glorious. So we need a lot of tanks. There's no doubt about that. I'd like to take this to like 10, and then this to at least 5. I think that'll be important. That said, we're going to be bumping up from infantry equipment 2 fairly soon. We're continuing to question various people's sovereignty. And this one will be done in just, what, 40 days? Yeah, 40 days. And this one in about 60. Okay, here's another infantry division for our Coast Guard. Perfect. That is absolutely wonderful. And I now understand why we're called Integralist Brazil. We're integrating a lot of things. How are things going over in Bolivia? I mean, their resistance strength is coming up. And our compliance strength is also coming up. So, I mean, it's reasonably okay. And yeah, infantry are our current garrison division. Now, I wouldn't necessarily mind including a garrison up there, but we can include this as part of the area defense, I suppose. But this is already stretched very thin here, and at this juncture, I would prefer not to do that. So we're just going to let this continue. There's our armored operations finishing up, and I would love to grab infiltration assault here. Supply consumption minus 10% is a big deal. Like, that is a ludicrously big deal. Looking at our supply over here is actually fine for right now, but that will not remain the same. We're speaking out against Argentina, of course. That's all to be expected. We should probably start justifying against Chile at some point, but I think we're going to wait. This is getting increasingly lengthy, and we'll definitely wait on that. So, we'll be done with Paraguay's justification here in 18 days. Sounds great. I'm very happy about that. The United States has not revoked their guarantee of us, so that's fantastic. And our factories here, our fuel refineries, rather, are going to be finished here quite soon. So that's wonderful as well. We're going to have ourselves some fuel. And we're just going to continue conquering some territories here. We're up to 63 factories, and we could definitely use more. We're going to start working on these 4 military factories quite soon. I want to check to see, is there anything else that we can queue up here? No. I'm not shocked by this. We do have a free dockyard, and I would like to toss this into, say, additional cruisers. Oh, we had a number of dockyards there, apparently. Oh, that does give us 3 naval dockyards. I didn't realize that. That's good to know. Do we want a large navy or a flexible navy? This will give us cruisers and capital ships. This will give us submarines and destroyers. We went heavy into submarines and destroyers previously. I'm going to go for large navy. Okay, so we are currently short on steel. And we're going to import a little bit more steel from the US. This does hurt our construction factories a little bit, which I'm not necessarily okay with, but I would rather bring in the steel. Now, if we look at our resources here, we can see that there is steel that we're going to get from Paraguay and from Argentina and from Uruguay and from Chile. There's actually a lot of steel available over here. So that will be good for us and hopefully allow us to back off on our importations. Just a little bit. 4 more days for Paraguay. Wonderful. We're going to launch that attack quite soon. They are apparently roughly equal to us, but I suspect they're not going to be able to keep up with our production. Our kind of bad production. So we're going to declare on these guys, of course. And in we go. This is going to be maybe a little bit grindy of a war over here, and I do understand that. Actually, it's looking pretty good so far. Paraguay has joined the Comintern. Well, that's the thing. Japan wants us to join the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. I'm going to decline this. And we'll see what the Soviet Union and Mongolia ends up doing over here. I'm a little upset that they joined the Comintern. But we could also join the Axis. They're apparently different factions, which is fascinating. Yeah, they definitely went for the Co-Prosperity Sphere over here and the Axis over here. For now, I'm going to continue to decline this. We're not ready to join the Axis. Italy and Germany want a non-aggression pact, though, and that I will sign. Fantastic. Okay, so we're winning some of these battles, and we're losing others. This isn't shocking, of course. How are these orders looking? We're moving. Okay, Paraguay just called the Soviet Union in on this, and this isn't shocking. Legionary Romania, Bulgaria, and Hungary want non-aggression pacts. Okay. So the Soviet Union is going to take over leadership of this war. This isn't shocking. Uruguay, what are you? You are democratic. And Argentina is non-aligned. Uruguay is likely to join the Allies. If Uruguay joins the Allies, then we definitely join the Axis, I think. I think that's going to be the plan there. So we are making some gains over here, shifting some troops around. And that will be fantastic. Now, this is the German-Soviet War. Ah, I see. We're no faction here. Yeah, I got it. There's some strikes going on, huh? Well, we're going to make propaganda heroes out of the people still willing to work. That'll be fine. We'll get that underway, and we are pushing back Paraguay here. No one is shocked by this. And hopefully the Soviet Union doesn't show up and, you know, stomp us a little bit. That would be awkward if they did. But that's what our Coast Guard is for. Non-aggression pact from Slovakia, yes, I accept that. The real danger here if we join the Allies is this. Or rather, if Uruguay joins the Allies, is this. And that's something we'll have to consider, for sure. How much are we gaining in manpower per month? Recruitable 1.34k. Okay, it's not the greatest, for sure. Not the greatest at all. And we are gaining a decent amount of fuel. Oh, are you doing air superiority? You should be. Or actually, maybe you should be doing close air support. Might not be capable of that. Okay, so we have this war goal that's ready to go. We're not going to declare that just yet. because, of course, we need to do this over here. Yeah, there's high levels of resistance over here, and we're not shocked by this necessarily. Can we have this guy... Stability... boost ideology... Root out resistance. Yes, this is what I want him to do over here. Just come on over, root out some resistance, and we'll see what that does. Okay, so he's underway on that. How are we doing on our tank production? Not great, is the answer. Are we losing more tanks than we're gaining right now? No, but we are losing more infantry and support equipment than we're gaining. So we are going to need an additional factory devoted to support equipment, and of course another one to infantry equipment, but that was always guaranteed to happen. Looks like the Paraguayans are now in retreat. And that's great. And we might actually take their capital here. That would be amazing if we took their capital, because that might end this war. If we got out of war, the United Mexican States just joined the Allies. Okay, that's fine. If we get out of this war with the Soviet Union without them actually, you know, doing anything, Peru just joined the Axis. Well, hello there, Peru. If Peru joined the Axis, that's slightly problematic for us. Okay, Italy just called Peru in as our ally here. Support Weapons 3 have finished up. Things are getting awkward. Things are getting very, very awkward. We're going to grab improved infantry equipment too. Excellent. And it looks like their capital is indeed falling. They should capitulate here. Nope. Their capital moved to Chaco Boreal. Okay. Well, these guys are going to be... Never mind. They did capitulate. Fantastic. Okay. So here's the question. At this point, if we attack Uruguay, do they join the Allies? And then we have to deal with this. I suspect that will be the case. However, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll deal with this at that point. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.